let's say someone in the diaspora is interested in learning about suicide in Guyana, and if someone were to Google suicide in Guyana, the information that comes up, it is about where does it occur more. You will find the answer will be Berbice, and it's with the Indians, and that has shifted, is what you're saying. That's no longer the case.
No. Yes, Indians are still the group with the highest,
okay.
But the incidents have reduced because the problem has become more national.
Okay.
So at one point when probably 8 out of 10 Indians were committing suicide, today it would probably be between 5 and 6 Indians.
Okay.
And in some areas, the incidents would be higher among other groups. As I said, in the interior, the incidents are higher among the Amerindians, for example.
Do we know at this point what contributed to that decrease?
There is something called the Werther effect, which is the technical term for copycatting. Copycatting is one of the mechanisms that drives suicide in Guyana. So if there's a village that somebody committed suicide, then somebody from the family is probably going to follow sooner or later, and then eventually other people from the village are going to follow. That is, for example, how Blackbush Polder at one time was designated the suicide capital of the world. So instead of being like a last resort, suicide became norm. It became an option. And because it became an option, it sort of saturated the country.
What is the Guyana government doing to help? Do you know?
Running about like a headless chicken. They unrolled the mental health plan earlier this year, a few months ago. Said this is what we plan to do to address all mental health issues, and suicide is a mental health issue.
Okay.
To date, we haven't heard anything yet about the plan. Even though they had a press conference to say this is what we're going to do.
And can you tell us a little bit about their plan? What was their plan about? What did they plan to do?
Some of the components are to have, in Guyana there are 5 trained clinical psychologists for the entire country. Population.
Okay.
So which means that there isn't a psychologist for every public hospital.
Okay.
So one component of the plan is to have more trained psychologists, so you can have psychologists placed at every hospital. One component of the plan is to see how you can integrate physical health care into the, mental health care into the physical health care system, because small economies like Guyana cannot afford.
Hey Facebook fans, I'm Tanuja. Thanks for checking our Facebook page. Subscribe to watch the latest interviews, ITV's coverage of feature events, and digital exclusives. And don't forget, you can get ITV on Time Warner, Cablevision, and RCN.